Today, attention spans are measured in seconds. Viewers scroll past content faster than ever, and every platform and type of content owner and publisher, from broadcasters to sports leagues, are fighting to win those critical first few moments of our attention. And this is where Minute comes into the frame. Its AI is built for exactly this challenge, automatically analyzing video to pinpoint its most compelling moments. It generates highlights, teasers, and previews designed to capture attention instantly. I first met Minute during my time running BBC Labs a long time ago, but they were already pushing boundaries in video personalization, dynamic storytelling, and attention grabbing. What's remarkable is how they not only stayed ahead of the curve, but evolve as the video landscape has exploded. I'm thrilled to welcome Amit Golan, CEO and founder of Minute, to explore how they are shaping the future of AI-powered video engagement and why discoverability is becoming the new battleground for TV growth. Amit, welcome to Media Unscripted.
Thank you very much. How are you?
Really well. I mean, as I said, it's remarkable that you're still staying so current and ahead of the game. I mean, it's been, you were ahead of its time when we first crossed paths at BBC Labs, and so how have you kept evolving your product to stay not just current but ahead of the curve?
I think first of all, we are working directly with our clients, with the partners. So we have a perfect team here that works very closely with the product teams and tech teams on the publishing side. And when every time we're trying to learn and understand their needs, problems, and then we also very close to the tech side. So most of the company here is a tech-oriented people. Back in the days, it wasn't called AI, but they're heavy on the AI side. So I have the close relationship on one hand, and on the other hand, we have the deep technology orientation. That when you mesh them together, we're always learning what they want, and we're pushing the boundaries, as you mentioned, on the product and tech side.
So
And
basically,
it
another
works.
overnight success. How many years did it? When did you start Minute? How many years has it been?
We started in 2015 as an app, and then it was funny because we started like something like Tinder for video content. But then we understood, we like published it. It was a very fast turnaround. We published it, then few publishers approached us and asked if they can use the Minute Tech on their site. And then we said, no, it's not something that we do. And then we understood that we did a mistake. So we started to shift the company towards from B2C to B2B.
Mhm, mhm.
That was an interesting move because then it opened a lot of doors for us. We understood that there's a high need for stuff like this. We didn't understand exactly what they're looking for, but then when we asked more and more questions, we understood that they're trying to generate. Eventually everything comes to money, but the more you generate more views, more time on site, more spent time spent, they can increase the monetization or the revenue that they can generate from viewers. And that was the holy grail. So how we do it, that's what we're doing today.
Yes, that's what I would love to. I mean, I asked this question before, and I'm always intrigued. Can you walk us through the AI brain of Minute? How does your platform actually understand what makes a video moment engaging, and what's changed over the years in your AI models? Because now AI is, the Gen AI is not the traditional AI, and everybody's just discovering AI while you were working for it. For a
Yep.
while.
The problem that we understood that there's a lot of content. Publishers are generating text, video, images, photo galleries, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the most expensive pieces that they're generating, which is the videos, are being hid under tons of text, images, and stuff like this. So, how do you surface the content, the videos, in a better way that they will outperform from the rest of the content? Because if it's the highest, the most, expensive investment that you do in content, and you're not generating enough, so the ROI is negative on
Mm-hmm.
video that you're producing. So how do we outperform those videos to make them more viewable, more interesting? And as you mentioned at the beginning, the time spent is going down and down. I think I saw a video that the time spent today is like 7 seconds on something.
Ridiculous.
Um,
But there's so
so,
much content as well.
and do you have so much competition? Because who's practically the competition of BBC, CBS, ESPN? They're competing with social platforms,
With creators.
with whoever generates content. But at the end of the day, you need to count how much time users are spending on my property. And
Mm-hmm.
if they're spending 45 minutes on TikTok, but then it's like 30 seconds on CBS, you need to find a way to grab the users faster into more and more content. So the game is, how do we grab their attention to more content? So what we do, back to your question, we analyze every frame on the video, every
Okay.
text that we see there, audio, everything that we can detect. And we also are trying to understand in an aggregated format how users consume that content per second. And then we can understand, based on all the things that I've mentioned, what is the peak moment objectively when we don't ask questions, we don't need any intervention. What is the peak moment on every video?
Mm-hmm.
And then once we know what is the peak moment, we can generate a beautiful preview to the highlight. And we can generate also post view. Like, for example, somebody scored a goal. So there's two options to represent that video. It could be a beautiful preview when somebody's running to score the goal, he's kicking the ball, and then you don't see how it ends. Or you can do the post view. He scored the goal or not, depends on the player, and then he's running to the audience, cheering, happy, but you don't see the actual goal. Those two elements will compete with each other to see the effect on engagement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we have an
So,
A/B test system that runs all the time, and then it understands and analyzes based on user engagement what creates more engagement. Everybody wants to generate more click to watch or click to watch the video, and that's what we do in the
so
first product.
your technology surfaces those best moments in real time.
Yes, from VOD or live streams. Because today, the market, like in the past 2 years, everybody is trying to shift users to watch more live streams. See,
Mm.
as CTV, live streams, that's what everybody's trying to do.
Yes.
So if you click on live stream, that's great. But the volume of people who are actually going to watch the live stream is extremely low. So how we can increase the chances that people will actually click and watch the live stream. So that's another technology that we've developed. Um,
Okay.
so those kinds of things eventually will generate more consumption, more revenue, and then everything can be measured, which is great.
So when you analyze the video, I'm assuming there is some sort of semantic video analysis and some predictive engagement modeling. It's happening as well in those split seconds. I mean, it's fascinating.
Yep.
What signals matter most? The visual, the computer vision that picks up the visual, so the guy goes after the ball. The audio cues. Do you actually have audio cues that you use
Yes.
for that? Or is it a
Yep.
viewer behavior data that somebody, the dwell time, or maybe you measure it somehow differently? So what are the core signals?
We're looking, first of all, the way, so we started with the way user consume the content.
Mhm.
We're, the basic hypothesis is that, and that's true, we don't understand anything. Based on the numbers and the data, we can try to think that we understand something. Eventually, you can see we have a beautiful graph that shows you how users consume the content based on actions that they're doing.
Okay.
It's anonymized and aggregated, but for us, we understand where they're more interested and where less.
So
And then
actions being clicks, or I mean, how do you?
everything.
Okay.
The patterns of the company is identifying user interactions to define peak moments. So we
Hmm.
understand how they consume the content. And then on an aggregated format, we will see a beautiful graph that shows us what is the actual highlight on that video, not something that we have defined. Because you can define that touchdown dunk is an interesting moment. But if you have 12 dunks, which one of them
Yeah.
is the most interesting one? So that's why you need that patent. That's one. The second thing is based on what you've mentioned, over the years, we took all the information that we've collected and we pushed it into different algorithms that will help us to predict what would be interesting.
Yeah.
So
That's
then
the exciting
we,
part, optimization.
yes. So we take all the knowledge that we have collected based on billions of actions and users that have created some kind of interaction with the content. And then per category, we know exactly what they want to see. So, for example, on soccer games, on the World Cup, goals are not the most interesting things.
Are they not?
There's not
Not that I'm a
necessarily,
football fan, but
but we found out that fights are more interesting.
okay, okay,
And
okay.
if something weird happened on the field, this is a bit more interesting. Sometimes the cameras are looking at the goal, but something else happened on the audience cheering or doing something interesting. So it's not always where the cameraman is staring, is what actually happens in different angles. So those kinds of things we can recognize and then we highlight them and then it drives engagement or some kind of attention. Then when you click, we just did our job. We increased and then we compare it with the original image, and then we show exactly how much we have created based on an A/B test.
So that sort of brings me to my one of my favorite subjects, especially recently leaving publicist production and advertising content production. It's all about optimizing of how well video performs. And I think it goes exactly the same for any type of content, not just advertising. And but how do you see AI shifting from this sort of reactive optimization to almost what you touched on, the sort of proactive or even predictive when it's coming to content production, content packaging, where I mean, can we just almost write a prescription of what content will perform the best and AI would make it for us?
Yep, but that's practically what we do. We are trying to understand what users are looking, and on the next video that we will receive, we will first search for those moments because we know that those worked well, and then we do the whole um, um, analysis.
Hmm.
But it's if we were talking about sports, but what about entertainment, red carpets, the news, local news? There's a cat stuck in a tree, and that's what everybody's talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
But what will you show there? And effectively, the whole thing that we have developed in the AI side is that the knowledge and the metadata that you can collect around the video. So
Mm,
then when you have the metadata, it's great, but what do you do with it? So today you can search within your archive from like GPT. You just type in give me the moment that when we then immediately we're scanning the whole archive and bringing the relevant moment. Or, for example, creation of new content.
yeah.
50 years to something. Just run through all my archive and automatically create a beautiful video that with the best moments of something. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with the automation and the AI
Yeah.
around videos.
Yeah, I think the world is coming. It's fascinating from the technology point of view, but from the audience experience point of view, which I feel quite passionate about in TV, especially. But it will be all hypered up watching video because there will be no dull video moments, no dull content. Everything will be created just to. So I'm not sure if I if I'm all for it. But you touched also on something, on my second favorite subject at the moment, the AI enabled discoverability, and coming from the old broadcasting streaming of TV world. I feel that metadata as we know it today is just dead. We need to understand the sort of semantics of content and meaning because that's what AI understands. So, where do you see the biggest opportunities for AI powered discoverability in the next couple of years? And how might that reshape the economics of streaming and broadcasts?
I think there's a couple of things on that side. First of all, when the attention span is shorter, the message must be much faster and very clear. So the ability to scan the content automatically, like from this conversation, for example, however time it will take, eventually when you're presenting it to other people, they need to understand the topic and if it's relevant or not. So
Mm.
how do you do it? Automatically. And then it can be a video or a movie or trailer. We need to find a way to digest the message extremely fast, prepare it to any kind of resolution, because there's a lot of media
Yeah.
avenues like the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook, horizontal formats, screens. You need to adjust it to every format in the right way, and then have a full metadata information description about the content, so it will be able to be searchable. It will be able
Mm.
to be SEO properly. It a lot of things that will help you to make the content much more discoverable. Also on platforms, when you have tons of content, how do you find the relevant content to you? So the more metadata that we have, the more knowledge that we have about the user, we can match it in a better way. Because if you like NFL, okay, you like NFL, but what do you like from the NFL?
Yes, no, I feel that we still need to catch on, or the broadcasters and content owners needs to fully understand what AI and the different discoverability of it and searches by using the sort of the natural language to search for content, what it means to the archives and how invisible their content potentially might be with the
Yep.
old metadata is it's still I feel that is the message, the penny didn't drop yet when I speak to some of the broadcasters especially.
There's
But I
another
think
thing on that side, by the way, on the semantic. We've done it. There's all kinds of preparation now for the tennis leagues, but the tournaments, the every moment within the timeline of the video has different moments. Some people are more like emotional, so they want to see emotional moments. Some people are likes to see like uh, like more aggressive moments,
mhm.
and then we can match those moments to specific users. So any kind of once we know the highlights and we know the metadata, and the semantic uh, uh,
Yes.
behind it, we can match it to specific users to increase even more the
Gosh,
engagement.
I wish we could talk for hours about it. I'm going to invite you, if you don't mind, to come back later to sort of to especially talk about what success looks like for the content owners, and how do you measure? And it's just such a huge subject. But um, going back to how AI is completely changing this world for I mean, you are ahead of the curve. You are the category defining. You're making the future in
Trying.
minutes. Yeah, no, you're doing okay. But talking, if you're advising a broadcaster or a sports league about starting with AI video optimization and all this, what we just talked about for attention and monetization, what's the single most important mindset shift they need to adopt? What would you recommend? Where to start?
I think for them, by the way, it's the to start from ground, like tag everything because the
Okay.
content is expensive and you're building something. These are the assets. So have as much information as possible on the content. Once we have this and you have the ability to search within the content, now you can play with everything. So you have the creation process and you have the distribution. Those are
Hmm.
two things that you can invest. And then the creation side became much easier today because of the AI.
Hmm.
The distribution side is a complicated world because at the end of the day, you need more minutes or time on site or time on content and more views. At the end of the day, it all sums on time on site or time on content. And then based on this, you can generate more revenue. So the better the distribution that you have, the more you'll generate. The more you'll generate, you can invest more in your content. And then it's a feedback loop.
Yes.
If you don't have good content, nobody will watch it. You won't generate anything. And
I also always sort of try to get across the message to people also when it's starting with AI. Don't think just automating the current processes. Just think what you're trying to achieve and whether AI is actually the best for it. Because yeah, distribution is not necessarily done with AI, but it needs to be done well if AI were to understand your content and grab attention. So
right.
complicated, but fascinating. But tell me, what's next for Minute?
So we're working on a couple of different angles. First of all, the distribution piece is
Hmm.
something that we're focusing at. How we can help broadcasters, leagues to increase the distribution. There's a lot of rights issues. There's a lot of, you know, sponsorship issues, legal around this, which is good because the more problems you have, the higher, uh, the higher the barriers to this area. The second thing is the automating processes for our publishers,
Hmm.
helping them to know more about the content and then distribute it in an automated way. There's all kinds of things that we see today, which is the live formats, which is um, very, very interesting because then we can analyze the live stream, generate meta tags, generate information, clip it automatically, share it with their audience, and then if you're interested, you can watch the full version. If you don't, you just can skip and watch the next piece. So there's a lot of things in that space. Um, Verticalization, which is something that we're doing today. We automatically verticalize the content, which sounds like very easy work, but it's not. Every content genre has different aspects, and we're adjusting to every different aspect separately.
Hmm.
So you can track the ball, but the ball is not always the main interesting
Yeah,
part. And then you're trying to make from horizontal 16 by 9 to
versus
generate 9 by
9:16.
16.
The debate.
How do you do it? And then we do it already and it works perfect. And then, so that's like two areas that we're staring, and it's all under the umbrella of distribution, automating distribution
I suppose you
and
nailed
revenue.
the video analysis by now.
Yep.
So now you're moving into,
Yes. And
so
AI is getting better and better all the time on the video, like summarization, analysis. That's something that the AI is getting bigger and bigger and better. The
yeah.
distribution, it's a more business tech side.
Especially content now lives everywhere, so the different platforms, different formats, as you say, that's the conundrum, to get it
Yeah.
right, get it at the same time. Amit, thank you so much. I really appreciate coming back just from holidays and being so busy, but thank you so much for sharing all this info about AI, content discoverability, and Minute. And I would love to hear back from you in a few months' time on how you're getting on with distribution, because I feel that this is a really neglected area, especially when it's coming to AI. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the summer, and speak to
Thank
you
you
very
very
soon.
much.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Media Unscripted. We've covered how to grab attention, optimize your video, and get it seen by the right audience, all with the help of mighty AI. If this sparked ideas for making your content more discoverable and ready for the next chapter of TV growth, let's connect. And please get in touch with Amit and the Minute team if you would like some help with doing just that. I will see you next time as we meet more innovators shaping the future of media. And if you come across any of our cutting edge technologies, any AI pioneers that helping TV grow, please send them my way.